What's up guys, welcome back to Crossworld TCG, and today I'm going to be featuring my Mono Blue Soul Striker list featuring this Raging Energy Blast Gotenks. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the deck profile. Starting off, we have the Super Saiyan God Son Goku, who awakens into Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Son Goku the Soul Striker, also known as Soul Striker Son Goku. This guy is really cool. Whenever he swings on the front side, you get to untap 1 energy, and then on the back side, when he swings, you get to draw a card and untap 2 blue energy. So he's really cool. Allows you to make bigger plays on every single turn because it gives you an additional 2 energy every time. Moving on to the main deck, one of the interesting engines that I wanted to focus this deck around was this guy, the Raging Energy Blast Gotenks. I haven't seen this guy see a lot of play in many decks, but I think he's really cool. Once you hit turn 4, he generates a ton of tempo for you for your turn. When you combine this guy's ability with your leader ability, you get to play an insane amount of stuff in a single turn. And then continuing on to go with that engine, play 4 Quick Dodge Son Goten. I think this is just the best option that you have for a blue Son Goten. He's a 1-drop blocker, so he's a cheap defensive option that you have to play during the turn. And then moving on, we also have 4 Unyielding Spirit Trunks. So on your turn 4, you get to play this guy, swing with him for 20k critical, use his ability to break him into adding 2 of these from your hand, so you get a +1 in terms of card advantage, and it restands 2 energy. So then, when you swing with your leader, you can untap 2 more energy and you're back at 4, and then if you have another Gotenks in your hand, you can summon it, swing with it, and then use the trunks on it to boost him to 25k critical. And then that'll restand 1 energy, and when you break him, it'll send him to the grave, and then you add another 2 copies, so you have another 10k combo potential in hand, and another energy. And if you have anything else on your board at that point, you can swing with that, trunks again, and then you're back at the 4 energy you started with, despite getting 3 attacks in. So I think the interaction between all of these cards is really strong, especially when paired with the Soul Striker. Continuing on, we have some standard blue cards. 4 energy boosted Majin Buu, really solid, draw 1 card, and 4 Oath's Power Tapion. This is your awakening card in the deck. There's another card that you can use to awaken, but most likely your opponent's going to attack you at some point because of the number of draw 1 leaders in this game, untap 2, so they're going to be putting pressure on. So Tapion, normally the first time you see it, and on turn 3 you'll be able to awaken. And then continuing on, got some 4 more defensive blue cards. The Freehan, he comes into play after you tap 1 energy. Because of the way this leader's effect works, you really shouldn't be tapped out at any point during the game, so he's really strong. And then for our big finisher of the deck, we have 3 At All Cost Vegeta. So you're able to put on a ton of pressure on turn 4 or turn 5 with these guys, and then after you go through your whole loop of that, you can put a Vegeta on the board, and then he's going to restand in energy, take 2 life to give you another 2 cards, and then you get to swing with him, and then at that point you'll probably still have some energy left over, and if at any other point you drew another Trunks, you can play another Tapion from hand or anything else to just apply even more pressure. So it's just really good, strong finisher, really takes advantage of the tempo that the Gotenks generates and allows you to finish games. And then the last 4 blue battle cards are 4 Boost Attack Piccolo, your blue super combo, nothing else needs to be said. Next, we move on to the blue defensive cards, playing 4 Bean, 4 Whis. By the nature of this deck, you won't tap out. It's pretty unlikely that you ever tap out, because you got your Beans, which will restand energy, you got your Whis, which will restand energy on defensive, and then your leader. So really, just solid cards overall. And then the last 3 blue cards in the deck, 3 Legendary Flute. I decided to cut back on this because it doesn't do much during your opponent's turn, and its real main usage is just to summon the Freehan back out or summon the Buu. So they're really good, but it was the 51st card, the 4th copy of this was the 51st card in the deck, so I just cut it down. And then moving on to some more defensive cards, we have 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Goku and 2 Bodyguard Legic. So early game, both of these cards are really good. This is good because if you need the 15k body to attack with, you can attack with it, and then flute it back, and then play it again, so it's really cool. And then Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku is just another 4 super combos, and this deck doesn't really tap out on your turn that often, so you're able to play more defensive cards. And then the last two cards in the deck are just two black cards, which are two-dimensional Banisher Fu. Realistically, this can be this or the Scientist Fu. While testing this deck, I was finding that I had a little bit of trouble clearing boards and clearing threats before being able to go in for that all-in push with that Vegeta. So if your opponent only had the one blocker on their board, this was fine, but if they had more than one, I was struggling to clear them before killing my opponent. And this guy also has double strike, so he also takes advantage of that you attack. And also with the all-cost Vegeta, when you restand energy, you'll have the one energy to be able to go into this and potentially swing for game. So it's a really good combination of cards. So that's it for the main deck. Now, I have a few cards that you could also play in this deck. Like I talked about earlier, the Scientist Fu card is really good. Staple, draw 2, double strike, really just a fantastic overrun card. But then also I have Son Goten, Family of Justice. This is searchable off that Gotenks if you want to play a little bit more removal options, but it only kills a 3-drop or less. And I'd rather just summon an Overrealm and kill that 3-drop than search it with Goten. In a future list, I might include 1 or 2 of these just because of how searchable it is, but otherwise it's a really solid card that you can play. And then I have 3 green cards, 1 Energy Boost Beerus. This is in here because, like I said, this deck has a little bit of trouble removing stuff. So another Beerus, or Beerus in addition to the other removal options I thought might be a decent option to play. And then moving on, 1 Courageous Heart Yajirobe. This guy's cool in the early game. I didn't find that I needed him particularly, but he's an option that you can play if your opponent has big barrier monsters that you're having issues clearing. And to go with that, there's also Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. So this card is really good because it gets rid of cards with barrier and restands 2 energy. The only problem that I had with this card while testing it is that it was a turn 6 play, and that was really slow. I was finding that none of my games were really getting that far. Either I was being aggroed down too early, which is why the deck is so defensive or has so many defensive cards for the early game, or I just would kill them before the turn 6 mark, so there was no real reason to play this guy. And we're not playing the SS3 leader, so the curve doesn't fill out quite as fast. So getting this guy on the board is just a little too late game for this current format. So those are my thoughts on the deck. If you guys enjoyed this profile, stay tuned. We'll probably be updating this Soul Striker list again sometime in the future. This is a personal favorite leader for both of us here at the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys out there were looking for lists of this leader specifically. And if you have any thoughts on this build, let us know. And this has been Logan here with Crossfield TCG. I hope you guys have a great day and stay tuned until next time.